How is everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well and amazing. If you don't know, you are with our amazing Hack the Future AI Metaverse FinTech with the Hello LLC. And we want you all to come and join us in the amazing Hello Plaza in Metaverse that you can join from your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad, or if you do have VR headsets, you can come and join us in here as well. But guess what? You don't need none of that, the gadgets and gadgets. You can join us right from your actual cell phone that you're watching us on now. And we want to thank you all that are joining us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitch, on X, aka Twitter, and LinkedIn, and of course, Instagram, all the way to our Clubhouse and fan base. We are omnipresent. This is something that we continue to showcase, talk about, but not just talk about it, do it and be present in doing it and showing up every single week for our amazing weekly events that we have. Our Wisdom Wednesday room tomorrow is going to be an amazing room. If you guys have not heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, buckle up, buttercups. We're going to have a room on mind hacking, reprogramming your brain to create a new reality. This is really going to be a restart, a nice little conversation that you get to have with yourself. We get to have out loud. And more importantly, we get to face the demons and the trauma and the drama in our closets that is stopping us from being successful. And we continue to share with you guys, success is on the other side of the things that you won't do and that you have to do. And a lot of the times, guess what? Those aren't physical things. They're really mind shifts. They're really mindsets. They're really overcoming, some of the things that you went through in the past and letting it stay in the past and being who you are now, being authentic, which means that you don't and shouldn't be caring about what other people have to say about you, because true authenticity is you being you with no apology and you just showing up, being real. And so if you guys do not know, we have our amazing other half, Miss Tara. If you guys don't know, this is the love of my life. This is my business partner. This is everything. She runs the show, or at least I make her think she runs the show, but she does run the show. But I run the show. We both run the show. And so without further ado, baby, what you got to say?
Who's cooking barbecue? That's a movie line if nobody knows. Hi, beautiful people. It is Tuesday, and we're back, Jack. And we're talking about all things technical, all things technology, and all things Web3. And so today's going to be a great conversation. We greatly appreciate you guys here. I'm excited to talk about the supercomputer. Microsoft's been up to some stuff, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to share some amazing videos that are that explain it a lot better than David or I could. But guys, we're here. It is here. The future is here. It is no longer coming. There are things that we are able to plug into, utilize for our business. And it also, I know, every time we have these conversations, people talk about the nefarious side of this, right? Because we bring the pretty positive side of this. And yes, there is a nefarious side that you can lean into. And what I would like to say about that is the more you get involved, the more you understand, the more you can demand from developers to develop what works for everybody in the greater good instead of just for the good of maybe chosen few people and not everybody. So that's my words of encouragement. This is why we bring this information to you guys, so you can be educated, that you can be in the know, you can have a little, be a little hip to the game. So that way you're not left out of the conversation. And then you also then can have a seat at the table of how regulations and things show up. And you might say, how is that possible? Well, by our purchasing power and who we are as consumers, we have the ability to, with our voice, when we come together, collaboration, that new currency thing, when we come together and be able to work together and understand how we win together, because guess what? There is enough abundance in this entire world for everybody to win. You just have to show up and want to be able to do that. And something that my nephew reminded me of, which was a beautiful thing, he says, Aunt Tara, not everybody in this world is a leader. And that is a correct statement. And it took my nephew to remind me of that, to understand that not everybody's going to push the button. We want everybody to push the button, but that's not reality. So this conversation is for those that are going to push the button, for those that do want the extra knowledge instead of looking for that happy hour at the end of the day, to look to be able to nourish their brain. One thing David and I discovered when we've been on this amazing mindset journey for the last 9 years is that you are what you consume. And that doesn't just mean what you eat, but that also means about how you are consuming knowledge, what knowledge you are consuming, what you're doing with your free time. Are you choosing to educate yourself, add value to your knowledge bank, or are you sitting in front of the, the noob tube, as they say, which is, not going anywhere television? Are you sitting there and having a conversation and watching what they're going to tell you? As what I said, it's tell a vision. So they're going to tell you how that vision is. So this is where we're having conversations for people that want to jump in, make a difference, understand that they too can make a difference by utilizing the power of technology, whether it's in their personal brand or their professional brand. And let me tell you something, the two are the same, because what you do in your personal life, you do in your professional life, and what you do in your professional life, you do in your personal life. And what I mean by that is your behaviors, your attitude, and how you show up. That is how you show up to everything in life. So this is going to be a great conversation. We're going to get rocking and rolling with a couple of amazing videos through this conversation today. So it won't be just David and I sharing. And this will be also a space for you to come up and ask questions. So if you don't know, come visit us in thehellollc.io. Go to that link. Come meet us up in the metaverse. We are here live, as you can see, from our studio in the metaverse. And this is a point of where you too can be pushing the button and doing something different. You too could have a space in the metaverse so you could show up to be able to host your events every week like this and have conversations and garner engagement of up to 9 minutes, or more than 9 minutes, I should say, versus 9 seconds. And let's all be real, none of us are getting 9 seconds of engagement on our social media unless you're really blowing people's hair back, or unless they really want to learn about that subject. So with that said, come visit us, come be a part of this conversation, because if you don't,
to the Hello Plaza, your
we're gonna
ultimate
leave you behind, because the future is here. And me, George, this boy Elroy. Anyways, I say that because it is like the Jetsons, and we're going to jump in our little spaceship. And what was that, David, Mr. Jones, that you shared with me the other day, that there's an amazing technology conference going on that hopefully we might get to participate, because it's like going on for 6 months. Maybe we might get to see it, but they're also going to have not only all of this Web3 futuristic, but they're also going to have hovercrafts and flying cars that they're going to be showcasing this. So when I make the little joke of meet George Jetson and his boy Elroy, we're here. And it's my little reference of the Jetsons when we all were little and we watched that. It's here. It's now. So buckle up, Buttercup, and let's go have some fun and let's learn. So with that said, pass this mic back to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones?
Yeah, one of the things that you did share that was so spot on, is press the button. We share with people all the time, press the button. And this week earlier, or should I say last week, we had the amazing podcast with Miss Cleo Michael with Set Yourself Free. And she had an amazing guest. And we were sharing with him, what we do and how we did these things. And we were just saying, you just got to press the button. And he shared, he's like, a lot of people press the don't do nothing button. And they're pressing buttons already, but these buttons that they press don't do nothing. And this is one thing that we encourage you guys, is to press the button, do something different. And doing something different requires a different mindset, requires a mind shift in how you do things. And, one of the other things that he talked about, and we talk about this as well, is, having, an ANT, automatic negative thoughts. We have this ANT, this ant per se, that he said, right, of this automatic negative thoughts. And what we're going to go over with you guys today is just mind blowing. We're talking about the Microsoft creating a brand new Matter. Okay. That hasn't been, discovered in the longest. New matter. These guys have come up with a supercomputer, a super, chip that literally can take all of our laptops times a million. Okay. And so this is where we have been sharing with you guys that metaverse is here, and this is just the beginning. And we were going to need better computers and better software. And here it is. It's being created. Go figure. As we shared with you guys, when Instagram moved over to its quantum computers, when Facebook has moved over to its quantum computers, and multiple companies are moving over utilizing these quantum computers. And this is why we wanted to bring this to the forefront of you guys' conversation. So instead of me talking about it or Tara talking about it, we're going to showcase an amazing video so you guys can learn more about it. So here we go.
Microsoft has recently unveiled a groundbreaking advancement in quantum computing with the introduction of their new quantum chip, Majorana 1. This development is poised to accelerate the realization of practical quantum computers, potentially transitories, and solving complex problems previously deemed insurmountable. Understanding quantum computing. Quantum computing leverages the principles of quantum mechanics to process information in ways that classical computers cannot. At the heart of this technology are qubits, which, unlike traditional bits, can exist in multiple states simultaneously, enabling the performance of complex computations at unprecedented speeds. The Majorana 1 chip, a leap forward. After 2 decades of dedicated research, Microsoft has introduced Majorana 1, the world's first quantum processor powered by a topological core. This chip is built using a novel class of materials known as topoconductors, which facilitate the creation and control of Majorana particles. These particles are pivotal in forming topological qubits, renowned for their stability and resistance to environmental disturbances, a significant hurdle in quantum computing. Implications of Microsoft's breakthrough. The advent of Majorana 1 signifies a monumental stride towards scalable and reliable quantum computing. By potentially accommodating up to 1 million qubits on a single chip, this technology could revolutionize various sectors: healthcare, accelerating drug discovery, and personalized medicine. Agriculture, enhancing crop yields through advanced simulations. Cryptography, strengthening data security with complex encryption methods. Microsoft's CEO, Satya Nadella, emphasizes that this breakthrough could bring practical quantum computing within reach in a matter of years, not decades. A competitive landscape. Microsoft's announcement positions it at the forefront of the computing race, joining the ranks of other tech giants like Google and IBM. While the Majorana 1 chip showcases promising advancements, experts advise cautious optimism. In summary, Microsoft's Majorana 1 chip represents a significant leap in the quest for practical quantum computing. As research and development continue, the potential applications of this technology promise to redefine industries and address complex global challenges.
On 1,100 acres,
on, Microsoft, explaining more about the Microsoft Super Chip. And so, again, like David said, Microsoft has been able to create matter. How many of us are like, okay, I remember what matter is, but boy, howdy, this has been since 9th or 10th grade, in your freshman, sophomore year in high school that you went through this whole, physics and, psychic, not psychics, but physics and, quantum physics, when you were understanding, when you dove deeper within physics. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get out there. So the point being is, this is a little refresher of understanding kind of how they've been able to utilize this and create a supercomputer. So I'm going to pass this microphone back to Mr. Jones because he has a few facts and some terminology stuff for us. So back to you, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, love. Sorry, you guys. So, one of the things that because I watched that video and it went in one ear and it went out the other. And so,
Next to him.
yeah. And so I just wanted to explain this to you guys in a little bit more, simpler terms. And some great analogies that you guys know we love to utilize analogies. And then, at the end of the day, we encourage you guys to do more research because, this is going to not only change the way that we, do business, the way that we interact with each other, as we continue to share with you guys. This is the new wave of engagement, right? The new way that we communicate, a new way that we're really shifting out of the hustle and bustle, because this technology that they're coming out with is going to change everything. And now that we have additional software to go with our hardware, this is going to change the game. And so imagine that you have a magical computer chip that can solve problems super fast, way faster than any other computer that we have today. This chip that they created is very different in the way that it does the things called quantum physics, as Tara was just talking about, which is like a secret rules that very, very tiny things follow. Okay. This new chip is like a tiny brain that can think about lots of things at the same time. This new state of matter, instead of it being like water or like ice, this chip uses a brand new kind of stuff that scientists have discovered, and think of it as a new kind of Play-Doh that can change in amazing ways, just to make the new matter that they created a little bit understandable for us all, especially for myself, like a fifth grader. Okay, this new matter is called topological orbits. And regular computers, information is like a tiny light switch that can be either off or on in this chip. The information is stored in something like qubits, which can hold both off and on at the same time, kind of like you could be asleep and awake at once. And so we got another video that's going to explain to you guys a whole lot better than what David and Tara can. Like we said, this was one of those topics that we definitely wanted to be able to, showcase to you guys, so you wouldn't have your head in the sand and you wouldn't be like, oh, I didn't know about that. Right. So this is really where, for businesses, it's going to create, faster problem solving for businesses, which will be able to solve, really hard puzzles that, that like how to design better medicines and more efficiency in cars and everything that we built, better, predictions. Imagine a supercomputer, say that 10 times, right? Helper that can quickly, figure out the best plan on how to grow crops or manage energy. This chip can help businesses predict what will work best, savings, time, and money. So just imagine taking, the little AI or the Chat GPT or the Grok 3 that just came out by Elon Musk, right? Or the deep state. And now, instead of you typing it, this supercomputer does all of that for you without you asking. Okay. And so once again, this is taking it to a whole new level when we talk about, these things and how they really are going to interact with our daily lives, from our business to our relationship to, everyday life. As we talked about, AI continues to be this term that, a lot of people don't know about, right? Or should I say they know about it, but the term keeps changing. Prime example, the calculator was a form of an AI. Alexa, Siri was a form of the AI, right? When we had the robots that cleaned the floors, that was a form of AI. When we had the Ring, right? The Ring camera, that was a form of AI. So it's really just doing what humans can do that now these computers, AKA learning language models, can do for us as we direct it in a whole new way, especially now that we're able to, be on a global e-commerce. And that's why it's so important for you guys to learn about these things and for you to really be able to grasp this retooling and this restructuring. Because as I shared the other day, in my live, is that, it's not going to be it's not going to be AI that takes your job. It's not going to be the technology that they're coming out with that takes your job. Like, there's so much AI and technology that is out right now. Okay. It's people that are going to implement this AI and start utilizing it and implementing and being ahead of the game and realizing that we've been utilizing these 20, 30-year-old strategies. And not only that, from an astrological point, we're moving and shifting from the way that we used to be to now a completely different way. And so times are changing, things are changing. And so this is where we continue to share with you guys to keep up with these pace of technology, because as we've been sharing, buckle up, buttercups, because this stuff is moving faster than ever when we talk about, innovation boost and this powerful chips and how companies can invest in new products, new services that they haven't even dreamed of yet. And that's where this is going. Just imagine smarter gadgets, right? From our smartphones, from our video games, and becoming more amazing. And I think people are not going to grasp it until this chip starts being put in different, systems and different technologies, that people are going to be like, whoa, we just went from BlackBerry to iPhone like that. And that's where we're at now, right? And it's going to be going on a faster pace per se.
It will be.
You got anything, love?
Well, I think the funny thing is that you we're talking about with and it took me back to high school, was how many times do we remember part of the list that you have to get when you get to high school, and one of those were a scientific calculator. Mm-hmm. And we went from a traditional 10 key calculator, essentially, where it's just plus our add, subtract, multiply and divide. And then all of a sudden we moved up into what we were working on, the curriculum. And next thing you know, we have to have scientific calculators. And how many of you pulled that thing out and you'd slide its case out and you'd be like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be pushing. What buttons am I supposed to be pushing? And the funny thing is there's so many things that, I used one all 4 years of school, in school, because doing, advanced courses. So you're doing within those advanced curriculums, and that evolution, that technology evolution. I remember vividly when we went from BlackBerry to iPhone. I was a BlackBerry user. The company I worked for was a BlackBerry user, and it was BlackBerries for all. And the iPhone came out, and I remember at that time, my mentor, who at that time was my boss, he was very much into technology, but he was very skeptical of the iPhone. He didn't think it was going to work as good as the BlackBerry. And after about a year, he made that transition, and so did everybody else. Everybody else waited for that little period of time. Everybody was hesitant. So, that's what's going on now. The supercomputer is going to be on the horizons for all people at some point. And again, this comes back to be a part of this conversation, so what's at play, what's going on, and how to be a part of the conversation to make sure this shows up for the greater good of all people instead of just the greater good for some people. And I think you guys can read between the lines on that. So we do have another amazing video here. Oh, Mr. Jones is giving me a pause second. He's got something else. So let me pass this mic back over to you, my love.
Yeah, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, before we get started, guys, if you guys do not know Miss Leah Garcia, she is joining us today, along with so many other of you that are joining us from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from YouTube, from Twitch, from Spaces, from Instagram. We want to thank you guys all for being able to join us today and be a part of this conversation, and really be able to, understand the future's already here. And, one of the things that we not only talk about, this metaverse, this FinTech, but also, financial literacy is caught and not taught. And Leah Garcia is one of those people that we've, partnered with, and she's part of our Pivot membership. She's also has our amazing Biz in a Box, as well as, so many other of our products from our Hello AI MotionWorks that, we want to be able to invite you guys to come and join us this Friday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to be having an amazing conversation, The Last Love Letter and the Wall of Wealth. And if you guys do not know about the amazing Wall of Wealth, well, buckle up, buttercups. You're about to find out more what it is. So here we go.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Introducing Leah Garcia's Wall of Wealth.
the ultimate one-page financial plan to protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth with confidence. Whether you're a business owner or just starting your financial journey, this step-by-step guide gives you the tools to create a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't wait to transform your money mind shift. Download your free copy today at leahgarcia.io and start building your wall of wealth now.
Yeah. So you guys definitely make sure you guys come join us this Friday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and be a part of this amazing conversation when Leah talks about, the last love letter. This is the best love letter that you can leave your family is life insurance. And so definitely you guys come join this conversation. Do not be afraid to talk about money. We understand everybody ain't got it. Everybody don't need it, but you definitely need to understand the rules of the game. And a lot of the times what happens is that people don't know the rules of the game, and then they wait till it's too late to learn the rules of the game. And when you could have, literally understood that 10, 20, $25 here, $30 here could have set you and your family up, for a world of trouble, or should I say not for a world of trouble if you just, buckle down and learn these things. So definitely make sure you guys come and join us with Miss Leah. It will be in the metaverse. You guys can go to her amazing biz in a box and you can get that downloaded, wall of wealth right now. So when we do go in further detail, you can definitely be able to follow the guide that she has that you can get for free. And this is what we were talking about earlier. Do not press the nothing button. You all have the capability right now to go to leahgarcia.io and go get that free guide, share that free guide, give it to your children, give it to your grandchildren, and really be able to see where you are within these steps that might not even cost you any money. Hell, your health, number one, you can deposit into that bank account every single day for free. Doing a jumping jack, doing a sit-up, doing a push-up, running, not running, eating right, not having that soda, not having that drink tonight. You can do something to deposit into that bank account, which is free. And definitely come learn other ways that you can deposit into other investments in your life when it comes to finances. And Leah is going to be a great, person that you guys can be able to, learn from, and definitely go check out her amazing biz in a box. As she says, no more flip phones, and definitely, guys, upgrade your business. And so without further ado, one of the things that we want to continue to share with you guys is about this Microsoft, quantum computer that came up with this new matter and all this other stuff, and really be able to help you guys understand that this is going to allow us to be more creative as we continue to talk about collaboration. Everybody talks about collaboration until it's time to do collaboration, and collaboration is the new currency, right? Whether that's building your community, whether that's monetary, whether that's whatever you want to do, collaboration is the key. We were watching a movie yesterday, and this guy was talking about I'm a lone wolf.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. You don't understand. I'm a lone wolf. And the guy, walked away. And another actor said he clearly hasn't watched any of the movies because lone wolves always die. And he was so spot on. Lone wolves always die. Where the people that stay in the community and collaborate together, and that whole movie in itself was about collaboration at the end, right? When I was sitting there saying, nope, forget it, don't let them in, don't do it. And then at the very end, it was like, okay, the more the merrier, and more ideas, more inventions, more ways, more thought processes come to mind. Although I still believe I wasn't sure, but that's another topic for another day. Anyhow, we might digest that movie one day,
We might have a room on.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the movie.
We might have a room on world, Armageddon.
Yeah, we might do that.
That
Apocalypse. How do you prepare for apocalypse? Yeah. So anyhow, we're going to continue our conversation on this quantum as we get squirrel holed onto another topic. But just understand, right, this is better collaboration for people to work together on projects, from school assignments to creative art to using power tools, right? Or should I say using tools powered by technology, and then, sharing ideas and make it easier, make it fun. and really enhancing the experience, which there again comes, the metaverse, comes utilizing the AI and really synchronizing all these things together, including the movies. And so without further ado, guys, we're going to play this next video, right? That's going to explain a little bit more and a whole lot better than Tara and I can on this Microsoft actual chip that's out. So here we
Out of nowhere, Microsoft just announced an impossible new quantum computing chip named Majorana 1. But it's not your average quantum chip. They claim to have created an entirely new state of matter. So now we have solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and the new kid on the block, the topo computer, or topological supercomputer.
It is entirely a new state of matter.
If it turns out not to be your typical Microsoft BS, and that's a big if, it could be a breakthrough on par with the transistor. The humble transistor allowed computers to scale up to millions of bits, and the topo computer could be the technology that allows us to scale up to millions of qubits. Without exaggeration, that would make computers billions of times faster than current tech, allowing us to do incredible things like develop new medicines, simulate entire worlds of AI girlfriends, and run Microsoft Windows updates in seconds instead of hours. In today's video, we'll look at the crazy science behind Microsoft's Majorana 1 chip and find out if it'll finally make quantum computers not suck so much. It is February 21st, 2025, and you're watching The Code Report. One of the worst things that ever happened to me in my entire life was when I upgraded from Windows XP to Windows Vista in 2007. It was a traumatizing experience, but it changed my life and got me to start using Linux. Today, my PTSD was triggered when I saw that Microsoft was hyping up this new quantum chip, because as of today, it's utterly useless for all practical purposes. However, it could be a significant breakthrough that gets us to quantum computers in years, not decades, according to CEO Satya Nadella. This announcement comes just weeks after Google announced its Willow chip, which itself is also useless, but made a significant breakthrough in error correction rates. What's interesting, though, is that the Majorana 1 chip uses a fundamentally different architecture. It's based on the Majorana fermion, which is a subatomic particle that's also its own antiparticle. Like an electron has a negative charge, and then it has an opposite partner called a positron, and when they meet, they annihilate each other. What's weird about the Majorana particle, though, is that it's like a mirror image of itself. There's no positive or negative side, and that makes it resistant to decoherence, which is where things get really weird. Quantum computers rely on quantum properties like superposition and entanglement. That allows qubits to represent the probability of multiple ones and zeros at the same time. But the problem is that qubits are extremely delicate and affected by their environment. Through a process called quantum decoherence, they gradually lose these cool properties and collapse to a regular classical state. It's like trying to get a choir to sing in perfect harmony in a war zone. That creates high error rates in quantum computers, and what's special about the Majorana fermion is that it's highly resistant to decoherence. This weird subatomic particle was first theorized in 1937, but wasn't actually observed until 2020 when researchers found them in islands of gold. And actually, Microsoft claimed to have seen them back in 2018, but they had to retract this research paper when it was found that they misrepresented the results. But now, just a few years later, Microsoft is claiming they can not only observe them, but also control them. They released a paper describing topological quantum computing, where they braid and fuse these particles together and then measure them, all of which occurs on a nanowire that's engineered atom by atom. Basically, you have these Majorana 0 modes at either end of the wire. Then to compute things, they measure if there's an even or odd number of electrons in the wire. The end result is a new type of semiconductor called a topo conductor, which is basically a superconductor semiconductor sandwich where the semiconductor mimics the superconductor. And these can be chained together to scale up to millions of qubits on a small chip like this. The chip does need to be kept at a temperature of near absolute zero, and although they say it can scale up to millions of qubits, they haven't actually done that yet. As of today, it appears that Google and IBM are far ahead in the quantum computing race, but Microsoft played the long game here, and they're really the only big company that's taking the topological approach. And if they're not just overhyping it like the Microsoft kin, then it could actually change the world. And that means us programmers will need to rewrite every line of code to optimize for quantum hardware. And an awesome tool that can help you review all that code is CodeRabbit, the sponsor of today's video, an AI co-pilot for code reviews that gives you instant feedback on every pull request. Unlike basic linters, it understands your entire code base, so it can catch more subtle issues like bad code style or missing test coverage. Then it will suggest simple one-click fixes to help you get things cleaned up quickly. CodeRabbit keeps learning from your PRs over time, so the more you use it, the smarter it gets. It's 100% free for open source projects, but you can get 1 month free for your team using the code FIRESHIP with the link below. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
being further down this, but Microsoft taking a different approach. So the point is that all of the big dog computer companies that have been building since the 70s, 80s, 90s, they are still in the game and still leading the charge into new computing. And this is just going to be, we have to have, as they say, quantum computing in order to usher in the Web3, full Web3 era. Quantum computing is a part of Web3 era. And that is important to understand and know because we are going that direction. I continue to share with everybody how many of you remembered VCRs and DVD players. Many of you, the majority of people don't have those anymore. That is not a common household item that is being used anymore. What is being used is now where you have smart TV that you can just go ahead and pull up your digital library on your TV and be able to play that from any device that you want to, even if you have like Apple TV and all that, where you have a cloud library. So my point being is there's evolution. Evolution is always happening. That is the one consistent thing is change. And until you can understand that change is always going to happen and you can get comfortable with change, then that is the secret sauce to life, is getting comfortable to change as change happens, because it's a constant continuum. So that just shares with you guys that the quantum computing that they're going to come up with is the next step in evolution. It is also the mechanisms that are needed to be able to continue to tie, the Web3 virtual reality space with the AI space, with the FinTech space, into the spatial, quantum spatial computing. So it comes down to, this is one big pie, and think of, a strawberry pie. Strawberry pie is one of my favorite pies. You can't have a strawberry pie without a crust on the bottom, and then the crust, you got to have flour, you got to have some sort of oil or lard, meaning got to cut your fat into your dough there. You've got to have strawberries, you've got to have some sugar, you got to have a little bit of water to make your glaze. You've got to have your top crust, and you definitely got to remember to have some whipped cream. So my point being is there's multiple aspects in order to make a pie. The Web3 pie is just the same as the strawberry pie. You've got to have multiple aspects that are going to come together in order to create this space. Look at where we are now. I mean, 2020 proved it to us when we were all sent home to be within our own confinements, and everything that could be, every vendor or what am I trying to say? Store is what I'm trying to really get out. Went online if they could. If they could go online, Amazon. We were in Houston area in Texas, so you had your local H-E-B, Kroger. Those are grocery stores that went online. You could order your groceries 100% online, and let's just say they did not lose out on money because people could not leave their house to get to the store, because A, people are going to do it anyways, but B, they came up with alternative ways that utilize technology in order for us to change our life habits, and that accommodated our life habits. Web3 is going to do the same thing that Web2 has done for us for the past 25 years. So I'll park my scooter there and get Hannah's mic back over to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones.
I love it. I love it. And the great thing about this is that we're ahead of the curve. And whether you understand it or not, as you heard, that this code rabbit, is going to require all new ways of coding. And the great thing about this all has stacked up to one another, is that right now, you don't need to learn how to code, because there's a lot of AI apps out right now that already can code for you. And so this is just another progression, another, Lego added to the masterpiece of how this all works together, and to where it's copy, paste, drag, drop. Copy, paste, drag, drop. If you can't do that, then that's where we have a problem at. And that's literally where our businesses can grow and maximize our full potential by copy, paste, drag, drop. And it really comes up to you, like Mr. Pierre Ingram that was on Set Yourself Free, podcast with Cleo. He was an amazing poetry. And I just have to share, like I said earlier, the ants, the automatic negative thoughts. That was amazing, something that he shared. And you guys always hear Tara and I say, change your energy, change your world. And one thing that he shared is that, if you take out the L in world, it spells words, and your words carry weight. Your words cast spells. And so your mindset, right, that you have to overcome is, as he shared, or Cleo asked him, what was one of the toughest things that you've had to do? And, throughout your ordeal of overcoming, sexual abuse, alcohol, where, just have alcohol abuse and all these things and traumas that he went through, he shared, one of the hardest things to deal with is your thoughts. And I was like, ooh, he's so spot on. That's in every, hardship, or every one of us. That is the hardest thing that we have to deal with on a daily basis, is our actual, our thoughts that we put into play, which, goes to the words, that goes to the energy, that goes to the automatic negative thoughts that we have with each other, and really, pressing the right button, not pressing the do not do nothing button, because that's comfortable, because that's easy, because that's a pattern, that's, conditioned ways of being. And this is where we continue to encourage you guys to really be able to step outside that old mentality, that old thought process, and really be able to see that things are shifting, faster and faster and faster. And if you are being, distracted by what's going on in politics, what's going on in the, in social media, what's going on in Hollywood, what's going on all over the world, it's good to know about them, but don't be, entrenched in those things, and expand your horizons. Because, and I share this with people all the time, back in the day, or when we first got into business, I never remember going into this room and, sharing with this lady, what we did. We were in Clubhouse, if you guys don't know. And I shared with her, we're doing wellness, we're in solar, we're helping people with this, we're helping people with that. And guys, she embarrassed the shit out of me. Like the roast sessions that they have on like MTV, she roasted my ass. And, I could have been upset. I could have been mad. I could have been, all the above. But I thank that lady to this day, because what she did was she said, hey, you're doing way too much. You need to concentrate on one thing. And we went back to the drawing board table, and we did focus on one thing. But we're here to share with you, we still can do all of those things and more. And we still do all of those things and more. We're just more strategic about it. And, tell Jeff Bezos that he can't have, this company, that company. Tell, unfortunately, Elon Musk that he can't have a car company, a space company, and be in our government, and be, in Germany and in South Africa, all at the same time. He's doing everything. So, there's no more, you only have to stick to one thing. What it is doing is showcasing that you have value, showcasing that you know your worth, and more importantly, showcasing that you are willing to experiment and learn other things and adjust to other things and grow into your business, and not, live in your business. And there's a difference between the two, of growing and living in your business. And a lot of people choose to live in their business other than grow with their business, with the technology shifts, with society, with what is, kind of more cooler and accepted. That a lot of people are still thinking that Zoom is, the newest thing on the block. When I'm here to tell you, you're losing 50% of your engagement, and half of you right now have to admit that when you do get on a Zoom call, half of the people show up with their cameras off. Half of the people, are just talking to you, and you might as well, not have.
83% of people that do not show up with their camera.
83% of people, show up to a Zoom call without their camera on. And as you guys saw, in Miss Merlin's amazing, Let It Go and Flourish podcast, her guest was able to not only come in Metaverse, but he was also able to take his camera off or put it on and showcase himself in Metaverse with his camera on, right? And so it gives you a different vibration, a different energy. And, our words carry weight. We continue to share with you guys, as Tara reminded me, earlier, hey, we will be the number one technology and health company in the world, which that was our motto and our slogan, when we very first started. And even, talking about that today, I got one of these phony calls from you guys got to be careful and vet people out and not just take things for granted for what you see. Do a little bit more detail. And as they say, read in detail, right? And this guy was trying to get me on Google, the voice activation Google, and was taking me through all these questions. And he was like, what made you start the business that you're in? Because what you're doing is so unique. And, I haven't heard about that. Tell me how you guys started this. And I was like, wow. We've went from digital agency, metaverse, crypto, FinTech, AI, Web3, to where we are now, to when we very first started this, almost 9 years ago, guys. It was being introduced to network marketing, that good old, pyramid scheme, and the wellness industry with the company where Tara and I both had 6-figure jobs, living the dream, just wanted to do something different. Our health was gone. Literally, I think, what was that, 2 days ago? I was like, if we hadn't have did what we did, I don't know if I'd be alive right now. I'm 100. I'm dead serious. And that's why, you don't know people's.
Not just because of the health, it's also with the mindset.
With the mindset and the health, right? Just in general. And it was just a good reminder of how far up this mountain we've came, and the transition and the changing. And so,
that's because you won't let us stop. You said, I'm not dying on side this freaking mountain. We're going up to the top. There have been many times I've been like, I don't want to go no more.
Yeah. Facts.
Find the lie.
Find the lie. You're right. And so, this is where we encourage you guys to really, take that next step and take that next leap, because you never know where you're going to start and where you're going to end up, just like we didn't when we first started this journey in the health and wellness. And now here we are as a full-fledged digital, Web3 marketing agency that's doing business all around the world. And if you had shared this with me 9 years ago, no, absolutely not. That's what we mean by you can either live in your business, right? Or you can grow in your business. And whether that's grow, live in your job, live in your relationship, or you can grow in your relationship. There's 2 different types of way of being. And you get to make that decision. You get to make that choice. And as always, you have a chance to do that, and it can start today. And so this is why we continue to show up every single day and have you guys join us for these amazing conversations. Today was definitely a doozer of new matter, new supercomputers, maximizing our laptops, our computers, a million times, as you heard earlier. And so as we continue to bring these things to you and just show you guys the facts, show you guys the evidence, we are on the right track. And so you can buckle up, you can sit back, you can, put your head in the sand. But either way, whatever choice you make, there's going to be some vibrations, there's going to be some movement. So there's going to be some furniture moving, as Bernie Mac said. So you get to choose if you want a front row seat, you want a back row seat, or you want to sit in the middle. And we all know, as Tara said earlier, not everybody's leaders, and that's okay. But at least be aware of where we're going and what we're doing. And don't be afraid to, not do nothing. And don't be sitting there pressing that do not do nothing button.
Do not do, as my 74-year-old precious mother says, I'm just going to stick my head back in the sand. Look, when you get to that age, I suppose if that's what you want to do, you're entitled. You've had your head stuck out in the sand for a very long time. But this is why we say, be a part of it. Take action. Ask questions, like David said earlier. Read, get more information. This is where you guys have a choice. Are you feeding your mind information and knowledge that's going to help you, that will change your life? Because again, simply changing one letter or removing one letter from a word goes from world to word. And so we have to understand, by just changing one thing we do in our life can change our life. And if you're looking for change because you're tired of the same old, your business is not growing, your business is, you are doing everything in your business. You are the janitor. You're, not acting as the president. You're running 7 ways to Sunday, trying to get all your appointment reminders out and gathered and, create everything. And the point being, and doing all the operations that you have to do with the little, ins and outs of every day as a solopreneur and entrepreneur, most people don't realize that they are spending so much of their most valuable asset, which is their time, doing tasks that technology could do for you, which is why the Hello LLC is here, because we help entrepreneurs leverage leading Web3 optimizations. We do that for you. We show you, hey, this is an easier route. This is the working smarter, not harder. And a lot of times why most businesses do not make that position or that transition into working smarter and not harder is because there is some sort of old school thinking. And I hate to say this because I've had to call myself out on it. There's some sort of old school thinking that is showing up for that person that will not allow the entity to move forward. I have seen it multiple times in multiple businesses at different levels, whether it's, less than 5 employees, it's less than 100 employees, or it's over 1,000, it's over 100,000, because of small-minded thinking and scared of technology. We don't make transitions that we need to be making. We don't push the buttons. We don't get inquisitive. We don't learn. We don't take the initiative to grow. Why? Because they have you stuck in survival. And until you understand that the rat race that you're doing, which is going to work, running the kids everywhere, paying all these bills because you're keeping up with the Joneses, and let's just be real. Most people, not all, but the majority of people within the United States are trying to keep up with the Joneses in some type, way, or fashion. And that is causing people to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You're exhausted, you're, drained, you are burnt out, and people are like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, is do this, and then to retire to where my body is broken. Absolutely not. And this is where you have to work smarter, and you have to be able to utilize resources at your fingertips. We were just talking about this with Miss Leah. Utilize those financial resources she brings. Utilize these technologies, these systems, and these foundations that we bring forward in our resources. Utilize somebody else's resources that they're sharing with you. And guys, understand, collaboration is going to get you further than just your own self. If you're collaborating with technology, I'm not even saying collaborate with other human beings, collaborate with technology. Learn how to get into gear and start collaborating with technology, and stop thinking, oh, I can do everything. Because yes, you can, but I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to upset anybody, but this is going to hit you between the eyeballs. You're a fool. You're a fool if you sit here and think that your best use of your time is to do everything by hand instead of utilizing technology. You are going to get left behind. So with that said, I'm going to pass this amazing microphone back to Mr. Jones as we wrap up this conversation. Mr. Jones.
Girl, you just dropped a bomb on people.
I know.
That was so good, and not just, utilizing AI, but if you guys do not know about our amazing Pivot membership, you guys should definitely check out the Hello LLC .io and go check out our Pivot membership, where you can join us for as little as $7, right, a month, where we have well over 100 videos of how-tos, what to do this, do that, where you can stop and play it and do it yourself if that's what you want to do. Most of you don't want to do that. I get it. So we have higher levels where you can literally have one-on-one meetings with Tara and myself. We can actually do things for you. Hey, do this, do that. Can we do this? Can you create that? I need some help with content. Hey, I need some help with social media. We can even do your social media. Ask Leah Garcia, ask Christine Cardi, ask Gwen Nash, ask Buttons Up, ask CD King. We've been doing, their social media, and I can assure you that those ladies, Bush excavation, right? I can assure you, those ladies and gentlemen love it that they are not having to worry about social media and having a social media post for them every single day, right? On their social media, on not just one platform, but multiple platforms that now they become omnipresent by us implementing AI. And so definitely, take advantage of our Pivot membership that allows you to be able to have us do it, help you set up your systems and foundation. Because as Tara said, you can do it, but I can assure you, you spending 4, 5, 10 hours is not worth your time for something you don't know how to do, when you can hand it over to the experts and allow us to do it, and allow us to do it a whole lot better than what you would have did it at Real Talk. And then you not be embarrassed, or you not, look foolish. And that's really what stops a lot of people from implementing new programs, new systems, new, webinars, new podcasts, new things to showcase to their clients, because they are not good at the technology piece and they don't know how to set it all up. And then even if they do it, it then becomes, excuse my French, a big shit show. You got people going here, you got people going there. We see it time and time again of so many, systems that are created that just don't work. And it confuses your customers, confuses your community. And at the end of the day, a confused mind will say no. So definitely learn about our Pivot membership, book a free discovery call with us, learn more about what it is, press the do button of doing something different, and go to the Hello LLC, learn about our amazing business box, learn about our Hello Motionworks, learn how you can get your storefront or your business into our Hello Plaza Mall. Because the gentleman earlier today asked me, he said, so explain to me how the metaverse helps out businesses. I said, well, how nice would it be for you not to go and spend money on a brick and mortar and have employees and have all this other stuff, the gadgets and gadgets and insurance, and then have to pick a location. And when you can, literally have all of that on a laptop or on a screen, on a TV in your office, and you're around the world. He was like, oh, I see. I was like, Gucci's doing it, Nike's doing it, Johnson & Johnson is doing it, Amazon is doing it, IKEA is doing it. So why wouldn't you be doing it as well? Because if they're doing it, then they know something a whole lot better than what we know. And this is where we continue to share with you guys. Buckle up, right? As we talked about today for the Microsoft supercomputers. What do you have to add on to that, Love?
I just wanted to poke in there where you were talking about social media and how people are just great that they've shared with us. Our clients have shared with us. It's wonderful to wake up and be like, I don't have to worry about posting today because that's taken care of for me. And I had to chuckle because my brother, he has an amazing social media presence. I'm sure some people are like, wow. And my brother's like, huh? Like, it's so funny, guys. My mom actually pointed out to my brother the other day, your social media looks very nice. And he's like, huh? It's like, your sister and David are doing a great job on that. And he says, huh? So my point being is, how amazing is that to be able to have an awesome social media presence and be able to not have to worry about that. And like Miss Leah says here, oh gosh, I remember when I was doing all of that. Yes, Miss Leah, we are talking about you in some of these instances when we reference that, people who remember that they were utilizing their time in not the most efficient manner. And we're not aware we're not doing that because we are just so used to doing things in a form and a fashion that gets it done. And all of a sudden we implement a new system, a new procedure, a new technology that is able to assist us to make our life easier. And that is what Miss Leah got to experience when we were able to complete her business box, which is an amazing smart link, which is a gateway to not only her time freedom, but is also a gateway for her clientele to come in and have an experience of what she's up to, how they can get engaged, how they can utilize her amazing toolbox. I'm just sharing from a point of view that is, people are curious and they want to go get curious on their own. Let me remind you all, you'll walk into a store, doesn't matter any type of store, and there's someone there that greets you and says, can I help you find something? And you say, oh no, I'm just looking. And about 10 minutes later, you find what you're looking for because you just wanted to browse, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time as well. But once you found what you needed, the item that you need or the size you need is out of stock, and you need to see if there's more stock. And so now you need somebody's help, right? So what my point being of making that analogy is that all humans are curious beings, and we like to do things on our own until we need some help. And so why not create an amazing smart link like we've created with our Biz in a Box that allows people and your clients and potential new clients and customers to be curious about who you are, what you're doing, what you're up to, without them feeling like they have to, be bothered by that agent. My little, air quotes are up when I say that. And we all have that feeling. We like to go do things on our own. So that is the beauty of a smart link that you're able to utilize, because most of the consumers that are doing business in today's economy, and I would say it is over 95%. I can't remember the exact, I think it's 97%, is the exact amount of people who are doing business from their phone, okay? Our phones are mini computers, and people utilize that for everything. So we have to understand, in order to be able to utilize our time more effectively, in order to engage with our clientele and where they're at, we have to meet them where they are and use our time effective, and use our time, which is our most valuable resource, to where we're working smarter, not harder. So with that said, Mr. Jones, do you have anything else you want to add to this as we wrap up this amazing conversation? I love it. I love it. I love it. So you know the drill. Love,
Kindness,
and integrity.
but most importantly,
Commitment
and
consistency.
until next time.
Toodles.
Toodles!
Bye, y'all.